Have you ever been humiliated by people who thought they were better than you just because they had money? Well, I married into a family like that. They mocked my background, laughed at my clothes, and called me a homeless person with swag. So I decided to give them a little taste of my kind of class, served in a $200 tequila bottle. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to people who look down on others, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay till the end, because what I did will make every underdog out there cheer. So the story with the title My Narcissist Ex's Family Mocked My Poverty until I served revenge cold. Hi Reddit. My name's protagonist's name. Use your own if narrating. And this story goes back to 2018, when I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life, marrying a man who looked perfect on the outside, but turned out to be a narcissist through and through. He came from money, not just comfortable, old, inherited, never worried about bills kind of money. Me? I came from the opposite. I grew up poor. The kind of poor where you learn to fix your own shoes, stretch a meal for 3 days, and never, ever waste anything. But I was proud of my roots. They made me strong, self-reliant, and real. We met at his uncle's restaurant. I was a server. He came in one night, all charm and expensive cologne. He smiled, flirted, and asked for my number. I thought it was a fairy tale. Turns out it was a trap with fancy packaging. For a while, things were okay, until the wedding ring went on my finger. That's when the mask fell. He became controlling, manipulative, and cruel in small, cutting ways. The kind of cruelty that doesn't leave bruises, just scars inside your mind. Performing arts meeting the family, 12 to 6 p.m. Fast forward a few months into our marriage. He tells me we're picking up his sister and her boyfriend from the airport. I'm nervous. First impressions matter, right? When they see me, his sister's face lights up and she says, "Oh my God, she's totally Jordan's." Her boyfriend laughs. My husband chuckles. I smile, confused. What's Jordan's? I ask. He tells me, it means you have great style. I thanked her, thinking it was a cute nickname. Oh, how wrong I was. Over the next few days, they kept calling me Jordan's, giggling every time they did. I thought they liked me. I wanted to believe that. But something about their laughter, it had teeth. Wine glass the night of revelation, 6 p.m. to 2400 hours. On their last night, we opened a few bottles of wine. They laughed louder than usual, and I could feel the alcohol strip away their filters and their fake kindness. They started mocking my cheap wine. How do you even drink this? His sister sneered. It tastes like sadness and minimum wage. I laughed it off, cheeks burning, trying to stay civil. Then came truth or dare. His sister dared my husband. Tell her what Jordan's really means. He laughed, red-faced and drunk. Jordan's, he said, is what we call homeless people who dress like they have swag. For a second, the world went silent. Then they all burst out laughing. Every single one, even my husband. I sat there, frozen, humiliated, and sober enough to feel every sting of their laughter. I wanted to disappear, but instead, I just smiled weakly and excused myself. I spent the rest of the night staring at the ceiling, wondering how I ever thought I belonged in that family. Candle hash the aftermath, 24:00, 28:00. The next morning, I confronted him. What was that last night? He looked confused. What are you talking about? I reminded him. His face twisted into annoyance. Oh, that. It was just a joke. Don't be dramatic. But I pressed harder. Finally, he snapped. Fine. I may have told them about your upbringing. I just wanted to prepare them. You, not like us. That broke me. To prepare them? Like I was some disease they needed a vaccine for? I realized then, I would never be accepted. Not by him. Not by them. And that realization hurt so deep it almost drowned me. But pain has a funny way of transforming when you let it burn long enough. It turns into fuel. Electric light bulb the plan. 28:00, 35:00. The next day, they planned to go hiking. I said I wasn't feeling well. While they were gone, I looked at the fancy bottle of tequila sitting on our counter, the one my husband had been saving for their grand farewell night. It was worth over $200. That's when the idea hit me. If they thought I was beneath them, I'd show them what real class looked like. So I grabbed my phone and started recording. I filmed myself swapping the tequila with a cheap bottle of Source Gold, worth less than $15. Then I poured myself a few shots from the original. As I drank, I spoke into the camera, voice shaking but proud. I may not come from money, but I come from love, from hard work, from people who treat others with respect. And honestly, I'd rather be broke and kind than rich and rotten. I laughed, finished the bottle, and went to bed early, peacefully drunk, with a satisfied grin. Whiskey glass the Revenge, 35:00, 42:00. That night, I joined them in the living room. They were sipping the swap tequila like fine wine. His sister swirled the glass and said, "You can taste the sophistication." Her boyfriend nodded. "So smooth. You can tell it's expensive." My husband smiled smugly. "Only the best for my family." And I just sat there, watching them praise a $15 bottle of cheap gold liquid like it was liquid heaven. After a few minutes, I stood up. "I actually made something for you all," I said sweetly. "A little thank you video for your visit." I connected my phone to the TV and hit play. There I was, on screen, smiling, drinking, swapping bottles, and talking about the difference between class and cruelty. As the truth dawned on them, the room went still. No laughter, no smirks, just faces drained of color. When the video ended, I collected the glasses. "Thanks for coming," I said calmly. "Hope you enjoyed your drink." Silence echoed through the room as I walked upstairs, head held high. Crescent Moon the Aftershock, 42:00, 45:00. That night, my husband stormed into our room, furious. "How could you embarrass my sister like that? She's crying." I rolled over and looked at him. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Sucks, doesn't it?" He just stayed at me, speechless. The next morning, they left without a word. No hugs, no goodbyes, just awkward silence and slammed doors. They never spoke to me again. Even when we flew to Europe to visit his parents months later, his sister refused to see us. I didn't care, because for the first time in years, I felt free. Looking back now, that night wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming my dignity, reminding myself that money can't buy class, and cruelty isn't a status symbol. I may have come from nothing, but I left that marriage with something they'll never have: self-respect. And that's priceless.